As Charlie was sad. She was sad about the extermination. She was sad about it wiping out half of Hell's population all the time, but there was nothing she could really do about it. Meanwhile, we cut to Moxie. Moxie has been, well, he's been on the run. Ever since he left the Mafia, he didn't know where to turn or where to go, as he tried joining a guy named Blitz, but he didn't really want him in this timeline. As he's just been on the run for so long, he was starving and homeless. Eventually, Charlie would walk to him. As Charlie slowly walked to him, she slowly extended out her hand, as then he would take it, as Charlie and him would both stand up and begin to walk. As Charlie would say, "So, can I ask you a question?" Moxie would say, "Yeah." "You're homeless, aren't you?" Moxie would go, "Yeah, I didn't want to assume. Do you mind coming home with me?" Moxie would say, "Am I just going to be your pet imp?" Charlie would say, "No, I just want a place for you to stay." Moxie didn't trust her. After all, royals didn't care about imps. They were lowest of the low, garbage, but he had no choice but to accept, as Moxie would follow Charlie. As Moxie and Charlie would stay together, Moxie would slowly start to warm up to Charlie. It took a while, especially since he didn't trust royals, but Charlie was super nice to him and treated him like he was a person, even looking for other job applications and things like that. One day, Charlie would ask, "You keep not telling me what you did for a living. Was it criminal?" Moxie would say, "Yeah." Charlie would say, "It's okay. I understand." Moxie would say, "No, you don't understand. I was born into it, forced into it. And when my mother didn't do what she was supposed to, she ended up at the bottom of a lake. As Moxie would start to get angrier and angrier, Charlie would just hug him and say, "I'm sorry." As Moxie would say, "You're so kind to me." As Moxie just cried and cried and cried, he thought about how his mother perished. He thought about his old life. He thought about, well, how useless he was. As then Charlie would hug him and say, "It's okay, I'm here." As Moxie would say, "It's not fair. Why are you so nice to me?" Charlie would say, "Because I'm a nice person. Well, you're kind of cute," she would blush. As Moxie would then smile for a second. As some days would pass, there would be hints of romance, but neither of them would do something. They didn't want to mess up their friendship. And so one day, Moxie would muster up the courage and decide just to ask her out. As Charlie would be, well, just sitting down one day, Moxie would walk up to her as Charlie would say, "What do you need?" As Moxie would take her hand and say, "We've been living together for a while and I wanted to know if you love me." Charlie would say, "I do have feelings for you, but let's go on one date to see how it'll go." Moxie and Charlie nodded as they dressed up real well and went to a nice restaurant. As Charlie and Moxie's relationship started to blossom, things would go well for them. The restaurant was nice, their conversation was nice, and well, how they talked to each other, it felt nice. They both cared about one another. As things continued to go only well, suddenly people would laugh at them. They saw Charlie as a higher up with an imp fetish, just like Beelzebub and others. As Charlie would say, "It's okay, we can go," Moxie would get up and say, "For your information, just because I'm an imp doesn't mean I can't fight." As then he would punch one of them, as Charlie would laugh. Charlie was kind of horrified at this, but she honestly found it kind of cute that he could stand up for himself, as Charlie would help him out. And we know Vaggie would do something similar, so it's not a deal breaker for Charlie. As Charlie and Moxie would walk out, Moxie would say, "I'm sorry I ruined our date." As then Charlie would kiss him. As the date went well, Moxie and Charlie went on many more, as they were officially a couple. One day, Charlie would still open up her hotel, as Moxie would sit on Charlie's lap, as Charlie would hold him tightly. As Charlie cared about Moxie, Moxie also cared about her. Eventually, though, Angel would walk in, as he would say, "Oh, you have a little pet imp, like I was told. This place has free rent, right?" Charlie would sigh and say, "Yeah? Well, I'm staying here." As then Moxie would say, "That's great. Now, for redemption, you need to..." As Angel would flick him in the face, and Charlie would say, "Don't you dare flick my boyfriend." Angel would say, "Sorry." As then, Angel would make himself home at the hotel. As Moxie and Charlie were together in the hotel, they continued on their journey. And things would continue simmering like in canon until eventually Alistair would show up. As he walked in and began to sing a song, Moxie would clap and say, "I love musicals, a 5, 6, 7, 8." As Alistair would say, I can do this on my own. Moxie would say, "Good, but I have notes," as he'd bring out notes and say, "You didn't hit that high number here, here, and here, and you could have sang better here." As Alistair would be seeing so annoyed, he would want to attack him, but then Charlie would look at him mad, as Alistair would say, "That's great. Anyway, I want to help." Moxie would say, "I don't think that's a good idea." Charlie would say, "Babe, we're desperate." She would say, "I get that, but who would ever want to go to a hotel about redeeming people when the person that works there is a radio demon who tortures people on the regular?" It's kind of mixed messages. As then, Alistair would say, "Quite right, but I have stuff." As then, he would bring out Nifty and Husk. As then, Moxie would say, "Alright, fair enough." As then, they would all stay there. One day, Moxie would begin to drink with Husk. Husk would say, "You look like a guy who's lost a lot. But you don't let it disparage you. How do you do that?" Moxie and Husk would begin to talk, as Moxie would say, "There was a time where I let it disparage me. There was a time where I let my past define me, and I felt like I was nothing. I almost became a mercenary. Can you believe that? But, I decided not to. I thought I wasn't good enough. Sometimes I wonder what would happen if I stayed. There was a pretty nice girl there. But, I have decided to pursue my life. And, I wandered to place. No job, no life, nothing. I tried to pursue purpose, but there was none until I met Charlie. Now I'm happy. You just need to find someone that makes you happy inside." Husk would say, "It's hard when you can't travel," because Alistair would walk in front of him, basically trying to tell him not to tell him his dark past. As Husk would say, "Never mind." As Alistair continued on, Moxie and Charlie would continue on too, and the relationship would continue to thrive, as the hotel had many ups and downs, many scandals, many good things, and even serpinges, but not much would change really. Moxie would have unique reactions to things, sure, but for me to go over every single unique interaction that he would have throughout every single episode would become, tedious. And I don't think it would be worth it in the long run, to be honest. So Moxie and Charlie would be getting ready. As Moxie was training, as he was in the Mafia, he was good at fighting. He decided to train Charlie. He didn't know much about magic, but he can train her to hand-to-hand combat, and she can apply that with her magic. As then, Charlie would say, "I'm scared to fight. What if we lose? What if the hotel's destroyed? Worse, what if you're destroyed?" As then Moxie would say, "Hun." Moxie would say, "We can do this. We can fight together. We can beat Adam and the angels. Don't you believe me? That together we can do anything." As then Charlie and Moxie would then kiss as they held hands. As time would pass, eventually Adam would come down. As Adam began to rain fire and destroy the town, as he laughed, watching all these pathetic sinners perish before him. As then he saw an imp, as he would fly down and attack it. Imps weren't allowed in heaven, so Charlie didn't bring him up to the meetings in this timeline. As then, Moxie managed to dodge off his attacks and blasted Adam. Adam would barely get out, as one of the bullets grazed him, causing him to have a scar. This would piss him off that an imp did this to him, as he would grab Moxie and begin to beat him to an inch of his life. This would piss off Charlie, as their eyes would turn red and kick Adam away. As then, Charlie would look at Moxie, "Are you okay?" Moxie would begin to cough and say, "I'm fine." As right before Adam could finish them both off, Lucifer would show up. As then, the hotel was saved, and Moxie and Charlie would live happily ever after. And that's going to leave things off. Thank you so much for suggesting the idea, Certified Loser. That might be your name, but you're not a certified loser to me. To me, you're a certified winner. Oh, heck yeah. I really enjoyed making this video. Sorry I'm whispering now. It's 5 a.m. and I'm trying not to wake people up, because I do not live alone, because I am something called broke. Yeah, I didn't know if you knew this, but yeah, I am broke, and I am trying to get my gaming channel monetized and 2 channels and have a part-time job all at once and try to have it, all be worked. That is my goal, and I get worked out a lot. But yeah, I do enjoy what I do, to be honest with you. If it was up to me, I'd be a full-time YouTuber if I had enough money from this. But that's not how life works. And if I did that, I'd be even more broke. So that can't be happening. But yeah, hope you are enjoying these videos. I'm enjoying making them. They're fun to make, And I think that Charlie X Moxie, the whole reason I didn't do that is because I kind of wanted, ships of like the same gender and stuff. Because, well, I wanted to inspire those people and bring in those audience and stuff like that. But I feel like I've already done a lot of those, so I might as well. And honestly, I don't know. Also, Moxie is really underappreciated apparently, because when I kept looking up Moxie, I found barely any images of him, even though there's been like a bunch of episodes where he's been in. And my images of him, where he's alone, he's always usually next to another person. I mean, you might say, he's always next to Millie, but sometimes it was Luna, sometimes it was Blitz. He's like barely alone. They need to give this time some lone time spotlight. I mean, man, it's just crazy. I never even noticed that until I made this video. But yeah, let me know how you're doing in the comments below. And before I end this video, I just want to say that I appreciate all of you coming to me. I appreciate all of you watching me. And I've been trying to bring more people in. Not gonna lie, some people have been leaving and stuff like that. But I've been doing my best. And you can't let that get to you. You got to keep going. And this month has been pretty good so far. So let's keep it going. All of you guys, like, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends, and keep it going for me. Peace out. Love you all.